And my friend Samantha Markle is with me live from Florida. Meghan Markle's sister, of course. Sam, so good to see you. The last time I saw you was face to face in the sun in Florida. So I'm very jealous given we're having a terrible London summer.
Love it. Great to see you. Miss you here. And I just got to say, I was watching you do that commercial for that product. I need a lawnmower. Oh, that's wonderful. That was so great. So good to see you.
Really, really good to see you, Sam. And of course, we have this breaking news. Shameless Prince Harry collects the Pat Tillman Award, despite the fact that his mother, Mary Tillman, had said absolutely not. So just a little bit of background to this. Pat Tillman, an American hero, right, Sam? He played in the NFL. After 9/11, he gave up a very successful sporting career in order to go and fight in Afghanistan. And he was actually killed in a friendly fire incident in 2004. And the Pat Tillman Award at the ESPYs is meant to be someone who's a little bit unknown, who works behind the scenes. And do you think for publicity, ESPN decides let's give it to Pat Tillman against the wishes of Pat Tillman's own mother, Mary Tillman, who says, no, Harry is this divisive figure?
This is where I wish some of those entities, when they give awards, I almost wish that they would do their homework before giving the award. I said that about the Ripple of Hope Awards. I kind of feel that about this. In other words, I don't think they were aware of the fact that not only is it inappropriate on the grounds that Harry is not an American hero, and clearly Pat Tillman was. And so to, in my opinion, take an opportunity, we get that he wants to promote Invictus. But he clearly, in my opinion, subordinated Pat Tillman and his mother. He thanked them for their participation instead of really emphasizing the Tillman Foundation, instead of really emphasizing that mother and son relationship. And furthermore, to take it one step further and for him to punctuate the importance and the tenderness, if you will, of a mother-son relationship and the loss. It was like he was taking his own opportunity to bring in Diana. And I thought, oh God, when is he going to stop milking this? This is about Mrs. Tillman and her son and American war heroes. Great to mention Invictus, but that was the focus, where the Tillman Foundation and Pat Tillman and his mother should have been the focus, my opinion.
Okay, Sam, stand by, because for folk who haven't seen what happened, I'm going to play you some of it and I'll commentate as we go along, because it's quite interesting to know what happened. So this was the moment that Prince Harry collected the Pat Tillman Award.
Please welcome the recipient of the Pat Tillman Award for Service, Prince Harry,
see
the Duke of Sussex.
Next to Meghan and Harry. Now she grabs onto him. Now see there's Venus Williams. No standing ovation from Venus, which is really interesting. Actually, I'm going to show you some pictures later showing the faces in the crowd are actually not that happy for Harry. So he goes up and he looked nervous, actually, which is not a surprise because there had been some booing earlier in the night. That's Pat Tillman's widow, also not looking particularly happy. Have a listen to what Harry says.
Thank you, Elizabeth, Israel, and Kirsty. Stay here. You need to be with me. I'd like to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to everyone at the Pat Tillman Foundation, led by Marie Tillman Shenton, who I'm so honored is here tonight. I'd also like to acknowledge the Tillman family, especially Mrs. Mary Tillman, Pat's mother. Her advocacy for Pat's legacy is deeply personal and one that I respect. The bond between a mother and son is eternal and transcends even the greatest losses.
Diana reference.
The truth is, I stand here not as Prince Harry Pat Tillman Award recipient, but rather a voice on behalf of the Invictus Games Foundation and the thousands of veterans and service personnel from over 20 nations who have made the Invictus Games.
And then, as you say, Sam, he goes back to talking about the Invictus games. But what makes me angry, Sam, is that he says he respects Mary Tillman in that speech. If he had any respect for Mary Tillman, he would have turned down the award once she publicly said, you should not be accepting it. You are a divisive figure. And actually, I find it so outrageous that he decided to use that speech to talk about Mary Tillman.
Exactly. I think that was not only disrespectful to the Tillman family, but to American war heroes. And, you know, if he had any class or decorum, he should not have accepted it. I mean, you know, now I'm feeling like he should give it back, just like they should have given back the Ripple of Hope Awards when, you know, they took the award claiming to battle racism within the royal family. They took the award and they came out and said, no, we really didn't call the royal family racist, but where was the follow-up? They never gave back the award. They never apologized for it and said, look, we have no business having that award. So it's just like, it's so self-serving and so, I'm going to say, piggish, in my opinion. And it really exploits other people for their own gain. Definitely out of his league here.
What was so interesting is that Serena Williams was hosting the award. Now, Serena Williams, friends with Meghan. But I'm going to play you, and I'll commentate along again, some of her intro, where she makes some crap jokes, talking about how people will say that Meghan's trying to steal the limelight, which is what she does. But there's a moment, and you're going to have to listen carefully for it, but I promise you it's there, where there are boos. There's lots of boos in the audience, and Serena freaks out, and so she tries to get everyone cheering loudly. So let's have a watch of this.
And I get to be in a room with actual royalty. And tonight is no exception. Prince Harry and Meghan are here.
Hear the boos.
Let's give it up for them.
And so then she says, let's give it up.
Harry and Meghan, try not to breathe too much tonight, because this is my night. And I don't want to be overshadowed by the accusations that you guys are taking up too much oxygen. In all seriousness.
Fake smile there from Meghan. She was probably furious about that, Sam, in reality.
No, in my opinion, she probably wrote the script. You know, actual royalty, excuse me, between this and all of the other fake touring stuff. No, actual royalty would have been Prince William and Princess Catherine being there. Clearly, this is, I would say a favoritism or an elbow rubbing favor here. Serena Williams is a friend of Meg's, that's known. So this feels very scripted. It feels like, Hollywood, ESPN, Harry and Meghan. It feels like they're really trying to punctuate and make themselves royal after everything that's happened. And they're doing it at the expense of a war hero and the sorrow and pain of his mother. Stephen King is the only one who could have written this script better, in my opinion. It's just horrific. Dan.
I couldn't agree with you more. Sam, I want to show you some pictures from the moments around Harry accepting that award, because it is really interesting looking in the room, actually. And there's a couple of significant moments, because actually people's faces are not happy. There's no loving embrace of Harry in that front row. And Venus Williams herself, as you can see there, seems to be shooting Meghan daggers when Meghan gives that standing ovation. It's really interesting, isn't it? And then if we look on a bit, you can see Harry was clearly aware that the room was not on his side, because he looks completely terrified about what might happen, and clearly believed that there was a chance that there would be boos actually while he was giving his speech, which is why the speech, I would agree with you, was almost certainly written by Meghan. And that's an interesting moment too, isn't it? She doesn't want to let go. It's her moment. It's always her moment, isn't it, Sam?
You know what was odd about that moment, that look on Harry's face, clearly being uncomfortable about it, but going through it anyway. It reminded me of the Netflix moment where Meghan was mocking, curtsying Queen Elizabeth, and Harry just sat there sort of stupefied, in my opinion. His face was red, and he sat there looking uncomfortable, but went through the motions anyway. It's like, where is the decency, the personal integrity, the empathy, remorse, or shame, the respect, in consideration for others? I don't know. I can see veterans being very upset by this, and my condolences and the heartfelt prayers for the Tillman family. I can't even imagine how Mrs. Tillman feels. Well, yeah, we can imagine. That was terrible. Shame on you, Harry.
Indeed. And then, look, it's fascinating. There's another image of Venus looking so unhappy about it. Other people in the crowd being annoyed. And the thing is that it wasn't just Mrs. Tillman either. It was senior military figures too. Admiral Lord West here in the UK saying it was completely unacceptable for Harry to accept this award.
But, I guess as shocked as we think we feel, but we're shocked, and then next week we're shocked, and then the week after that we're shocked again by something. This is not unlike them walking on the cemetery of fallen heroes with a fashion photographer in tow, which also upset the veteran community. So when he gets out there and wants to promote Invictus, don't the veterans in Invictus feel that this is wrong? Don't they feel that these exploitive little PR moments are inappropriate because they're really not paying tribute to the veterans or the Olympians, the war heroes, those who have truly suffered? They always feel like they're paying tribute to Harry, and sometimes Harry's loss of his mother. He's always got to throw that in there. It's like, no, stop milking this, stop exploiting others. Be a feeling, intelligent, caring human being in this world, and stop this crybaby exploitation of others as an opiate for yourself. That's Harry, really.
Chance would be a fine thing. What's really interesting, though, Sam, is it feels like Americans are really catching up to this now. I'll show you two articles that we've seen from the past week alone. The Spectator running the story saying, has America had enough of Prince Harry? Maybe that's not so surprising given the Spectator is a broadly right-wing publication, but The Guardian, which has always been so supportive of Harry and Meghan, describing this as Prince Harry's flop era. What do you make of it, Sam?
I'm, in a way, I'm glad that although they have been notorious for paying PR to fluff them, some things you just can't fluff. There comes a point when the mainstream, where human beings having functioning frontal lobes and hearts go, whoa, enough is enough. This is glaring. This is selfish. This is narcissistic. This is piggish. You can't do this. You can't walk on graves. In my opinion, not only your mothers for self-glorification, but now fallen war heroes. Step off. I've never seen anybody do this in my life. And I'm really sorry, again, that the Tillman family are feeling this, that they had to sit there and watch this. And it's really weird that, as uncomfortable as everyone was, including Serena Williams, that they all just went along with it. Good God. Well, I hope you have mirrors in your house. And if you look in those mirrors, maybe you feel something, because this was wrong.
I know, but the thing is, Sam, he is always trying to portray himself as a victim. I've only promised to talk about products on this show that are actually life-changing. This one is a little bit more personal, so stick with me. But the fellas watching are going to completely get it, and the ladies would do very well. to treat their husband or boyfriend, because this really is a game changer. So I have to tell you, us men want our grooming routine to be a one and done deal. With the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your nether regions are over, thanks to our friends at MANSCAPED. They've come up with the ultimate package to keep you trimmed from 12 to 6, if you get what I'm saying. So introducing the Beard and Balls bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger. It's not this sort of lawnmower, by the way. So girls, have you had enough of your badly lawned man? Does he sometimes attack himself like one of those out of control lawnmowers? Stop him. Get precision trimming for all areas, even the sensitive ones, and get him as manicured as freshly cut grass. So yes, I am talking about a trimmer for the moneymaker and another for the boys downstairs. Now, this trimmer gets it right the first time. It's gentle on the skin in all the delicate places, and with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, you can choose between a precise trim or a smooth finish. And did I mention it is waterproof, so you can now trim in the shower and avoid making a mess everywhere. Perfect for those of us who appreciate efficiency. Now let's talk about the Beard Hedger, whether you're going for a neat stubble, a little bit like mine at the moment, or a full-on lumberjack look. This trimmer has you covered. It features a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade and 20 length options, which is so good because it means you can achieve any style you want with just a twist of the zoom wheel. And just like the lawnmower, the Beard Hedger is also waterproof, so you can handle your beard grooming right in the sink or shower without worrying about water damage. With up to 60 minutes of runtime and an LED charge indicator, you'll never be caught mid-trim with a dead battery. It genuinely is such a gentle product, so no more cuts. You'll keep your loved one very happy, and using this product, I can tell you, will really increase your confidence. The very exciting news is that today you can get 20% off and free shopping. All you have to do is use the code Outspoken at manscaped.com. So manscaped.com. The link is available in our YouTube descriptions. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code Outspoken at manscaped.com. No more juggling multiple tools or dealing with subpar results, just efficient, effective grooming wherever you need it for the premium grooming experience. And that's what I'm all about. Trust Manscaped. So we got this news yesterday. He's recording another tell-all interview with ITV about the phone hacking which went on over a decade ago. And yet again, this is because he wants us to believe that he is a victim. I don't feel like Harry is a victim at all. I do feel like your family is a victim of Harry. And I do feel, Sam, like your father and Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, a good man, about to turn 80 years old, is a victim of their behavior.
Well, and to some degree, as you have been, the Sussex Squad, the paid PR, the hackers reportedly. So it's really, in my opinion, projection of him to be whining without the binky in his mouth about being hacked and going through all of these, challenges and how difficult it was. Well, seems like he's speaking from deep personal experience, like maybe he's an expert at all of this because maybe this is his MO. So, I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for him. And I honestly think after this little number, I think counseling would benefit him. I think he has to do some deep soul searching. This is not cool. This is not role modeling how to be a man and how to have military bearing. This is not decorum to role model in front of their, quote, children. It's sloppy to the point of being heinous.
And Sam, how is your lovely dad doing? Because, of course, it is a big milestone, turning 80. And he sat down recently with Caroline Graham, who's a journalist who he's got to know very, very well. And it was a really heartbreaking read, Sam, because actually all he wants is to meet his grandkids, Archie and Lilibet, who seem to have disappeared off the face of this earth.
Well, I understand that. But, it's like in the same regard, I think he understands that there's a lot of mystery surrounding all of that, DNA tests, no proof of delivery. So there's always, it begs the question of, okay, well, we can all feel that it would be nice to see them. Well, who is them? Nobody's got a visual lock on that. And I think he accepts that at this point, too. But at 80, not really having closure and being treated so horribly, yeah, it's sad. But nonetheless, he's going to have a wonderful 80th birthday. He's earned every moment of it. And so, we will be paying him tribute and having a great birthday for him.
Well, indeed. And what's so beautiful, Sam, is that the Markles, who Meghan tried to drag through the mud, remain a united family. And she is the one who has this isolation going on in Montecito. I mean, do you hold out any hope of meeting your niece and nephew, Sam, or do you doubt whether they even are? Because, of course, as you say, there are growing questions around these two children.
Well, if they are and they ever grow up and look back in cyberspace, of course, they're going to see that family was curious and wanted to meet them. But I would think that they would also wonder why all of the mystery and why, the media were playing this up and heartstrings were being pulled. I think it's really manipulative. It could have been so simple, but that's all on them. And so I think children, as they grow older, would understand, and probably wonder, what were you doing toying with our family and keeping us so distanced from everybody? So, that falls back on them. And I hope they have the answers to those questions for their children.
Well, of course, because who's to say that Archie and Lilibet won't grow up one day and say, hey, I wish I'd actually got to know King Charles. I wish I'd actually got to know Thomas Markle.
And sadly, I think, as we all know, the sands keep going through the hourglass for all of us every day. And sometimes when you play games and you take things for granted, you don't get that chance. There might not be a tomorrow. There might not be for the royal family, for our family, for anyone, or for the kids. So, it's foolish to waste time. And so I would just say, well, take care of business.
And how's your dad's health, Sam?
It's been challenging. He's made a lot of improvements. I'm really proud of him, but there's nothing easy about going through, 2 heart attacks and a stroke. And a stroke, especially, if you're 19 and you have a stroke, the brain has more plasticity. It's easier to rebound, to learn how to speak again, to move those muscles. So he didn't forget how to recognize things and label them. His damage was done to the motor part of the brain that actually produces speech. And so it's frustrating. Can you imagine seeing something and wanting to say it, but not being able to mouth all the words? And he does good. He does good on and off, and gets fatigued. But I applaud him for his bravery and his persistence. I don't think I would be as resilient. And it's scary. So he's really been a trooper for just saying, I can do this, and for doing it. And at beautiful 80 years of age.
Because it is such a difficult thing to go through. I mean, my grandfather, on my mum's side, my grandpa had a stroke, a really bad stroke, lost his ability to speak, or at least quite a lot of his ability to speak, and had to relearn it. And it's not only physical, but it's the psychological trauma of someone like your dad, like my grandpa, who was so desperate to talk and tell stories and wanting to be heard, and they're unable to do that anymore. It's really, really sad. And no offer of help from your sister, Meghan, to your dad in terms of, I'm thinking medical bills or access to doctors or anything like that. No offer of help.
No. And, he's been moving forward, doing the best he can. But, when you look at, I'm not making a comparison per se, but, yes, the royals have had their health challenges, but at that level, you have access to the best care. Most people don't. And so to go through something so hard and not be in the best medical care when you have a child who has access to that much money and resources and jet sets about town and, spends in a weekend what most of us would spend in, a year, sometimes our lifetime, and you're medically suffering. I mean, that's such a disparity. That's such relative deprivation. And it's almost cruel when you are medically suffering to be that close to a cure or help and to have the person who can help you with that just turn a blind eye, like, I really don't care. I don't see anything. It's just, it's like walking by somebody on the street who's dying and suffering and just, I've got to go get my hair done. That's
this
what
is the dad
that
who she
makes me feel like.
loved. This is the dad who she loved and who she praised and who raised him. Yeah, it's utterly heartbreaking. But thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.